So today's Japanese slang term is marui, which means round. So in this picture here, where you can see somebody say that something is marui, they're using that because the thing they're talking about is circular. And that's it.
違うよ。
え？新しい使い方もあるの？
うん。
マジで。Okay, so look, apparently there's a new meaning of marui, or at least a comparatively new meaning, and this one comes from the realm of trading card games. Now, because marui is just a word that has existed throughout, as far as I know, the entire history of Japanese, it's really difficult to find out exactly when people started using marui in any new way, much less the new way I'm about to explain. But from what I can tell, at the very least, by 2010, you can see people discussing the use of marui within trading card games to refer to a decision which is safe, as in low risk and likely to produce very good results. For example, in the posts that are floating above my head right now, you can see somebody say that a certain type of dekki is marui, or again, the safe option, and another person refers to esupa as marui. Or what they mean here is that, at least in 2010, within the Japanese scene, playing a Magic the Gathering deck that had the colors of white, black, and blue in it was safe, as in a good call for the current meta. So while we can confirm that use began by 2010 at the absolute latest, it took a long time for this term to leave the special realm of certain TCG players and move into the broader internet. The people here, for instance, say they've never heard of it, or that they had to look it up to answer this question, although there are people saying that they heard it and indeed even attributing it to board games, a less common claim, but one that we should note. In 2024, though, it's not hard at all to find people that play card games using marui to mean safe, sensible, smart within this context. This post that you're looking at right now notes that having two Magic decks, one of which is quite strong and one of which is not, to be able to move between different types of play groups is a very marui concept. This person notes that in the control deck they're building, again for Magic the Gathering, the normal win condition is a card called Jace the Perfected Mind, but they're wondering if they can do something which is less marui but a bit more interesting. And unsurprisingly, since this use of marui has existed now for over 14 years, it has spread beyond just the TCG fandom. For instance, if you're going out to eat, going to a new restaurant that you've never been to before is often more fun. It can also backfire. So if you're looking for something that you know will be okay, going to a chain restaurant is marui. Although personally, I have to say I'm not sure that going to eat at Hub is ever a marui decision. I probably just lost a potential sponsorship there. And that's kind of it. So to round out the overall usefulness of this video, some other slang terms you might need to know if you are somebody who cares about their trading card game experience being a marui one. The term ban is used to refer to something in a card game that is certain or reliable. And this comes from a slang use of tetsuban, which is not restricted to TCGs. But in this post here, you can see someone saying that for the Duel Masters deck that they're building, the use of two cards called Morunaruku is the ban, or the correct choice. Not, as Google Translate says, the two planks, it is just the optimal number for that deck. The word kankyo, or environment, then, is used in a way similar to how we use the meta in English. For instance, in this post, when the person talks about the difficulty of fighting Tsui kankyo dekki, they're saying that they were having trouble struggling against the tough decks in the meta at the time. And finally, ashuku, which refers to shrinking something via pressure, is used in Japanese as the equivalent of what we say is deck thinning in English. That is, cards that remove cards from your deck in order to make it so that you draw the good cards more reliably. Specifically, the post you're looking at here talks about how a Hearthstone card called Trusty Fishing Rod in English can help you out with both Banmen Tenkai, or board development, and Dekki Ashuku, because it can attack minions, impacting the board, and when it does so, it draws one-cost cards out of your deck, meaning that you don't have to draw them, so pressurizing your deck so that the cards that remain within it are better. In closing though, as someone who has spent far too much money on their Magic the Gathering Commander decks, I think I have an ethical responsibility to note that just in case anyone is feeling like getting involved in any of these TCGs based on learning these terms, the number one marui thing you can do for your own financial safety is to close and forget about this video right now.